Hello everybody, I'm JackieKCooper and this is my entertainment rundown with a review of the film Queen and Slim. Now, this movie, I watched the trailer to this movie, it seemed like for months and months, coming soon, Queen and Slim, coming soon, Queen and Slim. And every time I watched the previews, I got uncomfortable because the trailer for this movie tells you the basic plot right up front. Because it's a young couple played by Daniel Kaluuya, who was in Get Out. I remember him in that. He was just so outstanding in that. And a newcomer named Jodie Turner-Smith. And like I said, they're a new couple. They're out on their first date. They go to eat. They have a conversation. Then they head back for him to drop her off. And he turns a corner and he's going, just talking, and he hears a siren, police siren. And the policeman comes up and begins to make conversation with them and says, by the way, you didn't execute a turn signal when you turned the corner. And then it goes downhill from there. And it ends up with a shooting, and they jump in the car and don't know where they're going. They don't know what they're going to do. They're both in a state of shock because she's a lawyer, he's a good guy. You find that out in the conversation that they've had in the restaurant. She's a little bit more strident than he is. He's kind of okay, just keep things calm. Let's just not cause any trouble here. She tries to kind of pick arguments in the restaurant with him, and he doesn't respond to the bait. But then, they're forced to be this, team because of this horrendous act that has occurred. And as I sat there and watched the movie, I was just dreading that scene again where the cops stops them and knowing what was going to happen. And then the movie from there is, what do they do? Where do they go? Who can they turn to for help? She has an uncle in New Orleans played by Bokeem Woodbine, and she thinks that she can get them some help from there. And then they have this plan in their mind that they'll go to Miami and take a plane to Cuba. But then it's like, where do we get the money to, or find somebody who has a plane? It's just, pie in the sky almost. But it's a tense movie. It really is. But as much as I was engrossed in the film, and as much as I like the performances of Daniel Kaluuya and Jodie Turner-Smith, is the geography of this movie made no sense whatsoever. I think they were in Ohio, I think, where the incident occurred, and then they went to Kentucky, and then they headed to Louisiana, and then they were going to go to Miami, but somehow they ended up around Macon, and it was like they were going from New Orleans to Miami, and it took days of constant driving. Now, I'm sorry, I don't think it would take you that long to get from New Orleans to Louisiana. I'm not talking about minutes, but I'm saying it doesn't take days. And that really bothered me in the film. It's like they just kept driving. And for one thing, the houses and all they were passing by looked like they were still in New Orleans. But that's just a little thing. That drove me crazy. And then, I'm not going to tell you the end of this movie, but the end of this movie really did not make much sense to me. So, good acting, a gripping plot, but the execution was just not carried out well with the potential that it had. But again, you've seen the trailer. If you're intrigued by it like I was, then you'll want to see this movie. It is rated R for violence, profanity, and nudity. I scored it 6 out of 10. It's better than average, but it's not as good as it could have been. I just thought it could have been so much more with all of the elements that it had to bring together. But That's my entertainment report on this. You reach down there and hit that subscribe button because we want you around when I give the movie reviews for all the films that are coming out in the next few months. But for today, the entertainment rundown has been a review of Queen and Slim.